Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about the chapter weather and climate. In this session, we are going to see about climate. The average weather pattern taken over a long time, say around 25 years, is called as the climate of that particular place. Weather means it may change time to time, hour to hour, day to day. So if the average weather of a particular place is taken for a long time, around nearly 25 years if it is taken in the average, then that weather conditions of that particular place for the long time is said to be climate of that place. So climate will be generally common for a particular place, but weather may change from time to time in a particular place. Okay. Broadly, the same patterns of temperature, rainfall, humidity, and wind speed that have been generally continuing for a long time, say around 25 years, at a place gives the climate of that place. Yeah, we know what are the elements of weather. What are the elements of weather we have seen in the earlier classes like temperature, rainfall, humidity, and wind speed. These all are called elements of weather or the components of weather. If we observe these all for a particular time, they may change. If if you observe the conditions of these all the elements of weather for a long time, around 20 to 25 years, then those conditions are said to be the climate of that place. Okay, so the conditions of a place in the short time they are called weather. If they are taken for a long time, around 20 or 25 years, then that is said to be climate of that place. If we find that temperature at a place is generally high for a long period of time or large part of the year, we say the climate of that place is hot. Okay, if you observe for a long period of time, the temperature is high in a particular place, then we can say the climate of that place is hot. We cannot say if one day is raining, one day is being hot, that we say generally weather. If for a long time the same kind of conditions are observed, as we told here, if very hot condition is observed for a long time in a particular year, in a particular place, then we can say the climate of that place is hot. If we observe most of the time in a year, if it is continuously raining in a place, then we can say the climate of that place is a rainy condition. In some areas will be there, like polar areas. What will be there? For the long time of a year, particularly around 6 to 8 months, will be very cool in that area. Around minus 30 degrees Celsius temperature will maintain for long time of a year. Then we can say that area climate is cool. So in this way, the conditions of the elements of weather observed for long time, around 25 to 30 years, then those conditions are said to be climate of that place. I hope you understood and got the clarity between the climate and weather. Climate is the conditions taken for a long period, around 25 years. Weather in a place in the particular time it is observed. The conditions in a particular time gives the weather of that place. If the weather conditions observed for a long time, then they give climate of that place. Okay. The Indian Meteorological Department, IMDD is called in short form, Meteorological Department of India, studies the climate of our country. Yes, the scientists work in that meteorological department in India. They observe the conditions of each and every place in our country and they give information about climate of different places in our country. Climate describes the weather condition occurring over a relatively longer period of time in a given place. Yes, as we told, climate gives the weather condition for a long time. We know weather means the conditions of a place in a short time. These weather conditions may be changed time to time or day to day. But if they are observed for a long time, nearly years of time, around 25 to 30 years of time, then those all collection of these weather conditions gives the climate of the place. For example, in the month of June, we expect weather to be dry in Bangalore area, humid in Kolkata, hot and dry in parts of Rajasthan, and cold in Kashmir, and rainy in coastal areas like Kerala. So, they are the climatic conditions which we observe in our India. What they told in the June month, actually, in our area, in coastal area, what we get generally it will be rainy. Like Kerala and Andhra Pradesh, in these regions, in the coastal regions, it will be raining the month of June. If we go to particular areas like Bangalore, what happens there? The weather will be dry. In some areas like desert areas like Rajasthan, how it will be very hot and dry. So in this way, the climates of our India will be varying from one place to another place. The change in rainfall pattern shows there may be shifts in climate over long period of time. Yes, actually, the seasons, the shift, there will be slightest shifting of these changes like seasons. We observe there will be slight changes in rainfall pattern also. This shows there are some shifts in the climate over a long period of time in a particular place. The people living in an area adjust to the conditions of climate. Yes, the people will be adjusting to the climate and the changes in the climate in a particular place. For example, the rainfall has been relatively less for the past 2 decades in certain places. For example, in Rayalaseema, even during rainy season, the tanks and the canals remain dry because in those areas rains are very less. Rainfall is very less in those areas. So in rainy season also in those areas like Rayalaseema, the tanks, canals, and the rivers will be somewhat dry. They remain dry because there is no much rainfall to fill them. The dried can what happens now? The dried canals, tanks are now used for other purposes because there is no water filling in that. There are as there is no rainfall, they're not being filled with the water. They're being remain dry even in the summer also, or even the rainy season also. That is why they are using these canals and dried lakes, tanks, and these all for some other purposes. The less rainfall has also led to developing ways to use less water, not only using these tanks and canals for other purposes. What they're doing there, they're habituating to use less water. There is more water, you can use the much amount. But as there is no much rainfall and there is a availability of less water, those people who are living in that area with this less water climate, they're habituated to use less water. They're changing their adaptations. They're changing their habituations. They are to try to use less water. They're developing ways to use less water. In areas which do not have a climate of rain, as we told now, just in the like Rayalaseema, in those areas there is no much rainfall. So the climate is adjusted like that. In those areas there is no much rainfall. When it rains heavily in those areas, what happens? As there is no way to drain out this water, all water will be overflowing on the land. So as a result, many areas were flooded and submerged in places like Cornwall and Dizal in the we came to know in the 2010, and also in other parts of Rayalaseema. What happened in those areas? The rainfall has become less. The climate has been changed like that. So the people are being habituated for that. So as there is no much rainfall, these lakes and canals are not being filled with water. They're being even dry in the rainy season also. That is why they are trying to and they have habituated to use these canals and lakes and tanks to use in some other purposes. Now what happened? There is no place for storing this water if it rains heavily. It happened once in the month in the year 2010. It rained heavily in those areas. Then there is no way for storing this water for them to drain this water. Then what happened? Floods occurred. This water submerged so many areas in the Rayalaseema region, isn't it? Nowadays, there is a complaint that climate is not as ordered as it was. In the earlier days, as their climate is being particular region, it is being ordered. So if they expect in this season rain should come, it happened in that area. But nowadays, what happened? Climates is being changed a little. There is no proper raining. Is all. Seasonal climatic conditions do not appear as predictable unknown. We what we predict in the month of June to September, rain should occur. But as climatic conditions are being changed, we are not getting that much of rain in this season. That much of expected rain we are not getting. So that we can say climatic conditions are being changed a little. So climate and lifestyle. How do we change our lifestyle according to the climatic changes? Climate mostly affects on our daily life, isn't it? If heavily if it is raining, our climatic lifestyle will be different. If there is no rainfall at all, if it is completely being dry, then our lifestyle will be changed accordingly. We change our lifestyle to suit that particular climate. If it is heavily raining in particular area, the people will be habituated for the rains. They'll be continuously using these raincoats, umbrellas to move out, and the water will be preserved in such particular areas. And the cultivation, agricultural cultivation also will be changed accordingly. The crops which need more water will be grown in that area. If the certain area, if it is having climate with completely dryness, there is no rainfall at all, in that area people will be habituated for that. Suppose in those areas where there is no rain, people will be habituated to use very less water all for all the purposes. And even the cultivation also will be in the same way. The crops which need very less water will be grown in those places, isn't it? So in that way, we change our lifestyle to suit to that particular climate. We wear cotton clothes in summer, isn't it? According to summer conditions, what we do generally we wear cotton clothes or some loose clothes. We want to drink some cool water and cool drinks also because to control that heatness. What do we do in the rainy season? Yes, we in the rainy season we take care to protect ourselves from the rain. Generally, we wear raincoats and we carry rain umbrella and this all while going outside, isn't it? So we take care according to the seasonal conditions. And in the winter season also, we wear sweaters and we wear some woolen clothes to protect ourselves from the coolness or cold. In this way, we change our lifestyle according to the climatic conditions. If it is so hot, we will try to reduce that hotness by wearing cotton clothes and loose clothes, and we'll try to take some much amount of drinks like cold drinks, cool water, and some other drinks we take to reduce this hotness. And the rainy season also, we will try to protect ourselves from the rain by wearing these raincoats and carrying these umbrellas and this all. And in the winter season, what we do, we take care from the cold by wearing these sweaters and woolen clothes and mufflers and this all we wear, isn't it? So in this way, we change our lifestyle according to the climatic conditions of a place. Climatic conditions and adaptation. At several places, such as deserts, polar regions, etc., climate is very harsh. Many organisms live and thrive at these places in spite of the harsh climate in that particular area. We know in the regions like desert area how it will very hot. There is no availability of water. We cannot survive in that place. And in polar regions, how the climate will be, it will very cool in that area. The temperature will be maintained around minus 30 degrees Celsius temperature continuously. So if we go that area, we will be frozen. We cannot live in that area also. Even in those areas also, as this much of climatic harsh conditions, some living organisms are there. Some animals will be living still, and even people also will be habituated to live in that area in spite of this harsh climate present in the places. Animals and plants living in such places develop such and certain features which help them to survive in that harsh climate. So how they live? If we go and stay there, we cannot live. But people and animals and plants which are living in that area, they are they have developed certain features which help them to survive in that harsh climatic condition. These developments, these developments in certain features to survive in that given climate is called adaptation. This development of certain features in order to survive in those harsh climatic conditions are called as a adaptations. So animals and plants will be adapted to live in a particular climate. Okay, for now, let us see some examples for those. Adaptations in polar regions. We know in polar regions, the sun does not set for about 6 months. For continuously for 6 months will be daytime only. It won't set at all. And it does not appear for another 6 months of the year. 6 months will be completely night only. And 6 months it will be completely day. So these regions are covered with snow for most part of the years. Completely they will be covered with snow. We cannot see land at all. In winter, temperatures may be down to minus 37 degrees Celsius. Very cool. If you go directly and if you stay there one day, you'll be completely frozen to that temperature. That much cool it will be. We cannot survive generally. Hence, the climate of polar regions becomes extreme harsh. We cannot at all survive. In spite of such conditions, many animals live at those places. We go under, we cannot survive there. But already some animals are being living in that area. Some animals are surviving in that area. For example, polar bear, penguin, etc. These animals show various adaptations which help them in surviving in that particular harsh climate of the polar region. Yes, we go on, we cannot live in that area as it is very cool. In the polar regions, the temperature will maintain for long time of year at very low temperatures, around minus 37 degrees Celsius temperature. In that, at the temperature, no water will be available. Completely all the water will be in the frozen condition. All ice will be seen wherever you see. So that much harsh it will be. In that harsh temperatures and climatic conditions also, some animals will be living. So, for example, penguin, polar bear, these animals will be living in that area in that harsh climate also. So these animals, how they are living there, these animals show various adaptations which help them in surviving in that harsh climate. So what are those adaptations? Let us see here. Generally, polar bears have a white fur so that they are not easily visible in the snowy white background. See the polar bear how it is having white fur which cannot be easily visible, isn't it? So it protects them from their predators. So as it is not seen clearly with a white background and it is having white fur, so it is not seen immediately. It is not seen easily. So it protects from their predators. It also helps them in catching their prey. As it is not seen clearly, it can go immediately and it can catch their prey easily. So protect them from extremely cold, they have two thick layers of fur. Very thick layers of fur it is having. So it protects them from cold condition. They also have a layer of fat under their skin. They have thick fur. Along with that, there is a thick layer of fat under their skin, which protects them from the cold condition. In fact, they are so well insulated how that they have to move slowly and rest often to avoid getting overheated. So how they protect us see here, they have thick fur as well as they have a thick fat layer under their skin. These two, they are protecting them from the cool conditions. Not only that, they are highly protected from the cold condition. Even they cannot move faster. If they move faster, if they run faster, what they get immediately they'll be overheated because of these two. So they move slowly and often they have to take rest. Okay, in that way they are protected by their fur and thick fat layers. In the same way, another well-known animal living in the polar regions is the penguin. It is also having white and merges white fur and merges well with white background. So it is also having white fur and it also merges with white backgrounds. It also has a thick skin and a lot of fat to protect it from cold. So this is also having white fur and it is having thick skin. Under the layer of skin, it is also having layers of fat which protects them from the cold conditions. You may have seen pictures of penguins huddled together. All will be standing together, side by side, isn't it? I think you have seen these pictures often. This keep them warm. Yes, when is all standing together, this keeps them warm. Recall how warm you feel when you are in a hall full of people. Often you will be assembling in some halls in your school. When you stand all together in a hall full of people, you will feel some warmness in that, isn't it? So in the same way, these penguins also they'll be huddled together. They'll be standing side by side, no gaps. So many penguins they'll be standing. So this keeps them to be warm. So in this way, they will be adopted. They'll be adopting some features which keeps them protected from the harsh climatic conditions. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel Aims Today for latest updates on recorded videos. Thank you.